The report that I'm going to go over today is about a hunter in a ghillie suit that encountered a mother Bigfoot and a baby Bigfoot in Harlan County, Kentucky. You're going to find this report very interesting. Hey everyone, it's Sherry with Squatchable. I wanted to talk about a report we came across in the database. It's a really fascinating one. The title of the report is Hunter in a Ghillie Suit on Pine Mountain Has a Close Encounter. It's report number 40278 on BFRO. It's a Class A sighting. The location is that it's an old reclamation strip mine, also called Pine Mountain. The nearest town is Harlan, Hayden. This is in Harlan County, Kentucky. We thought this was interesting because Harlan County, Kentucky has had 3 Class A sightings there, along with a couple of Class B sightings. Kind of the short and dirty details of this report setting up what happened is that this person was out pre-dawn on black powder opening day for deer. The area that he was in had waist-high grass, open thickets, and there was a light rain happening out there as well. Prior to the big juicy part of the story is that when he was going through the grass, something jumped up out of the tall grass with eyes that reflected red-orange. It was about 7 feet tall, and the other one was about 5 feet tall. It was around 50 yards away, is what the person had estimated. And they were dark figures, and they took off. And so he thought it was bears that he had encountered. Like maybe that he walked up on some bears, they stood up, they're like, hey, and then took off. So he really didn't think much about it. Well, we come down here, and at this point, he's already gotten himself ready for the hunt. It's just before daybreak. He's in a ghillie suit. He has a scent lock clothes on. He's been dragging a deer scent rag with him. And this is what happened. Right at the break of daylight, I was looking into the saddle for a buck. All at once, a stick about 2 foot long came flying at me and landed right behind me. I turned and looked and seen this big black-brown monkey-looking thing squatted down, looking at me about 50 yards away. My first thought was somebody was teasing me or was trying to run me off. I stand up and yelled, "Hey, you better say something or I will shoot." I pointed my black powder and it moved its arm back and I could see it had another stick in its hands. I yelled again. All at once it came rushing at me. I shot in front of it and it turned and took off. It went about 75 yards and stopped. It stood up and looked over toward a thicket and grunted. A smaller one came running out, making a crying sound. By this time, I had already reloaded and was heading off the rock away from the things. I walked out away from the rock and left all my gear. The next day, I went back in to get my gear. When I got there, my backpack was tore open and my things were laying everywhere. I had crackers and potted meat and some Coca-Colas. The cans had been hit on the rock and busted open. Anything that was food was ate. I had a knife and a Game Boy in my pack also. They were still there. That proves to me it was not somebody. They would have took them. The limb my vest was on was broken out. The drag rag was gone. This man says that he thinks he saw a mom and a baby Bigfoot, because the one was 7 foot and the other one was 5 foot when he had encountered them earlier. That's the sizes he had given based on what he saw when he thought they were still bears. The investigator that followed up was Jack Smar, and he did a telephone interview. And these are some of the additional details he got from the witness. When he saw the creatures the first time, the reason why he couldn't see them very well is because it was a small flashlight. So he wasn't able to really illuminate the area. And he says here, it was only in the early daylight when he turned his body in reaction to a stick being thrown at him, he realized that he was looking at something that was not a bear. Although it looked like an ape, he thought someone was pulling a prank on him. The researcher that contacted him said that the crouching figure went into a football stance and started down after him. He says that he did not aim at the creature but in front of it in deterrence, and the Sasquatch immediately stopped the charge and retreated up the hill and away from him where it came to a halt. The descriptions of the sounds was that the grunt was low, powerful, and guttural. The small one wailed as it ran, in a high-pitched, half-woman scream and half-baby crying manner, and the hunter did not see any tracks. So the researcher says that he believes that the Sasquatches were confused by the ghillie suit and the lack of human scent. I also believe that the Sasquatches were checking him out on the boulder and threw a stick at him to see what he would do. Some takeaways I get from this story is that there's a decent chance that maybe the deer scent and the ghillie suit was what really allowed this encounter to happen. Either that, or maybe they were keeping a close eye on him from the earlier encounter. This encounter is really cool because it's one of the few ones where it has what appears to be a mother and a baby Bigfoot. Also, I think that the sound of the baby Bigfoot, that's something that we should really take note of because this really hasn't been described by anyone before, not that I have found. I also think that this story definitely is interesting because of the half woman scream, half baby crying manner of the baby Bigfoot. It's just something that we haven't heard described before, or at least I don't recall hearing it described before. In regards to the adult Bigfoot's behavior, the bluff charge and coming at the man, that's behavior we've heard in a lot of reports. Also, just any animal in particular, if you're near their baby in any way, shape, or form, they're more likely to bluff charge you. That behavior is not surprising. Like I mentioned, this area that the report is from, Harlan County, Kentucky, there has been quite a few reports. This Class A sighting, teen on four-wheeler, has sighting on family property near Wallens. There was also this one, two miners have nighttime sighting near Llewellyn, and those are both directly, they saw it. As for Class Bs, there's a few Class Bs all in this area of Harlan, Kentucky. So what do you guys think about the description he gave of the sounds that the baby Bigfoot made? He didn't shoot the baby Bigfoot, yet it was doing a half woman scream, half baby crying, and as it was running towards its mother. I mean, that sounds like a distress cry, but he didn't shoot the baby Bigfoot. Do you think that the baby Bigfoot was scared? Do you think that it was just more of a automatic reaction, like if something noisy goes off by us, we're like, ah! I don't know, I'm kind of leaning towards that idea, that maybe it was just scared out of its little mind. Because they're out here, they think that they're near a deer. A hunter's in a ghillie suit. He's got deer scent. He's been dragging deer scent. They can't tell by his smell what he is. And then they're getting a deterrent shot directed towards them. Do you think that maybe that was just pure, ah! Oh my goodness. Let us know in the comments below. Okay, now, as you've been watching this video, you may have heard some weird noises. That's because we had to get out of the house. And we're in, my goodness, one of the prettiest places, but unfortunately, you can't see. Here, I'm gonna kind of take you on a little tour here. It's beautiful. This is a California burger stand in Napa Valley. You eat a delicious burger, and you can get your wine with your burger. This burger place, some people call it like Taylor's Automatic. Other ones, it's Gott's Roadside. But awesome burgers. If you come here, you gotta eat here.